To escape a forced marriage, a billionaire marries a black waitress. However, he was shocked by what happened. What if your freedom came at the cost of everything you've ever known, including your family, your wealth, and the future you were groomed to inherit? Ethan Callaway's life was a masterpiece of privilege painted over a canvas of suffocation. At 32, he was the heir to Callaway Enterprises, a conglomerate that controlled everything from real estate to tech startups, its influence woven into the fabric of New York City. His father, Reginald Callaway, was a titan, a man whose handshake could close billion-dollar deals and whose disapproval could crush souls. Ethan had been groomed since childhood to inherit this empire, but every step toward that destiny felt like a shackle tightening around his wrists. He was tall, with a kind of chiseled features that turned heads at galas, his dark skin glowing under the soft light of chandeliers. But behind his tailored suits and easy smile lay a restlessness no one in his world could understand. The Callaway name was a crown he never wanted, its weight pressing down on him with every board meeting, every forced smile, every reminder that his life wasn't his own. The latest chain was Victoria Moore, the daughter of a prominent black family whose wealth rivaled the Callaways. Their engagement, announced at a lavish gala 6 months ago, was less a proposal than a merger, orchestrated by their parents to solidify alliances. Victoria was poised, beautiful, and sharp as a blade, but to Ethan, she was another expectation he couldn't meet. Their conversations were polite, their touches rehearsed, their future a script written by someone else. Every time he looked at her, he saw the life he was doomed to live, a perfect, hollow cage. Across the city, in a cramped Brooklyn apartment, Jasmine Porter moved through a different world. At 28, she was a force of resilience, her days spent balancing shifts at a diner with night classes at a community college. Her skin was a warm shade of brown, her eyes sharp with determination, though exhaustion often dulled their spark. She was the backbone of her family, supporting her younger brother, Malik, a bright 16-year-old with dreams of college, and their mother, Diane, whose health was fading under the weight of years spent working double shifts as a nurse. Jasmine's life was a constant juggle, bills piling up, Malik's school fees looming, and her mother's medical costs eating away at what little she saved. But she carried herself with a quiet strength, her laughter a rare gift that lit up the diner where she worked. Her dreams, of owning a small business, of giving Malik a future, of escaping the grind, felt like stars too far to reach. Yet she held on to them, even as the world seemed determined to keep her grounded. Their worlds collided on a rainy Tuesday night. Ethan, escaping another suffocating family dinner, slipped into a diner far from his usual haunts, his suit jacket damp and his mind heavy. Jasmine, nearing the end of a 12-hour shift, served him coffee with a tired smile. Their exchange was brief, a quip about the weather, a shared laugh, but something in her warmth, her unguarded honesty, lingered in Ethan's mind. For the first time in years, he felt seen, not as a Callaway, but as a man. Days later, Ethan returned to the diner, driven by a reckless idea. He'd overheard his father and Victoria's discussing wedding dates, their voices cold and calculated, as if his life were a chess move. The pressure was suffocating, and in his desperation for an escape, Jasmine's face flashed in his mind. She was a stranger, yes, but she was real in a way his world never was. Jasmine was wiping down tables when Ethan approached her, his polished demeanor out of place in the diner's fluorescent glow. He offered her a deal, a fake marriage. He'd pay off her debts, cover her mother's medical bills, and fund Malik's education. In return, she'd pose as his wife for 6 months, just long enough to derail his engagement to Victoria and buy him time to reclaim his life. It was a business transaction, nothing more. Jasmine hesitated. The offer was a lifeline, but it came with strings. She'd heard of the Callaways, everyone in New York had. Their name was synonymous with power, but also with rumors of ruthless deals and buried scandals. Yet the weight of her family's struggles pressed against her. She thought of Malik, of her mother's frail hands, of the dreams she'd buried under bills. Against her better judgment, she agreed. They married in a quiet courthouse ceremony, Ethan in a tailored suit, Jasmine in a simple dress she'd borrowed from a friend. The vows were mechanical, the rings a prop, but as their hands brushed, a spark flickered, unplanned, unwanted, but undeniable. They moved into a sleek Manhattan apartment Ethan owned, a temporary stage for their charade. To the world, they were a whirlwind romance, a billionaire and a waitress defying the odds. To each other, they were strangers with a contract. But living together changed things. Ethan, used to sterile boardrooms and calculated conversations, found himself drawn to Jasmine's warmth, her quick wit, the way she hummed while cooking dinner for Malik. Jasmine, guarded and pragmatic, began to see past Ethan's polished exterior to the man beneath, lonely, trapped, yearning for something real. Late-night talks over takeout turned into shared laughter, stolen glances, moments that blurred the lines between pretense and truth. As their fake marriage deepened into something real, Jasmine's secret gnawed at her. 3 years ago, Malik had been arrested for a crime he didn't commit, possession of drugs planted during a police raid on their neighborhood. The evidence was flimsy, but the Calloway name had surfaced in whispers, tied to a real estate deal that displaced hundreds of families, including hers. Jasmine had spent years piecing together the truth. Calloway Enterprises had pressured local officials to clear out her community, and Malik's arrest was collateral damage in their gentrification scheme. Her plan had been simple: use Ethan's access to infiltrate the Calloway inner circle, gather evidence, and expose their corruption to free Malik and others wronged by their empire. The fake marriage was her golden ticket, but falling for Ethan wasn't part of the plan. Every smile, every touch, made her mission harder. She was betraying him, even as she loved him. Ethan sensed her distance but chalked it up to the strain of their arrangement. He was too busy navigating his own battles, his father's growing suspicion, Victoria's icy resentment, and the board's pressure to fall in line. But when he caught Jasmine rifling through his father's private files during a gala at the Calloway estate, the truth crashed down. "Who are you really?" he demanded, his voice low but trembling with hurt. Jasmine's confession poured out. Malik, the cover-up, her years of anger. Ethan felt the ground shift beneath him. The woman he'd trusted, the one who'd made him feel alive, had used him. Yet her pain was real, her cause just. He saw it in her eyes, heard it in her voice. She wasn't just fighting for her brother, she was fighting for a community his family had crushed. The climax came at a charity gala, where Ethan was set to announce his return to the family fold, Victoria at his side. Jasmine, torn between love and justice, slipped him a flash drive containing damning evidence. Emails, contracts, and recordings linking Calloway Enterprises to illegal evictions and Malik's wrongful conviction. She begged him to do the right thing, her voice breaking. "This isn't just about me, Ethan. It's about all of us." Ethan stood at the podium, the flash drive burning in his pocket. The room glittered with New York's elite, his father watching with a hawk's gaze. He could expose the truth, destroy his family's legacy, and lose everything: his wealth, his name, his future. Or he could protect Jasmine, the woman who'd shown him what freedom felt like, and stand for something bigger than himself. In a moment of clarity, Ethan made his choice. He stepped to the microphone, his voice steady. "Tonight, I'm not here to celebrate Calloway Enterprises. I'm here to expose it." He revealed the truth, projecting the evidence for all to see. Gasps rippled through the crowd as his father's empire crumbled in real time. The fallout was swift. Reginald was arrested, the board dissolved, and Calloway Enterprises faced lawsuits that would take years to unravel. Ethan lost his fortune, his status, his family. But as he stood in Jasmine's Brooklyn apartment, Malik now free and Diane smiling for the first time in months, he felt lighter than ever. He'd traded his empire for something real: love, truth, and a chance to rebuild. Jasmine, too, was changed. She'd expected to feel triumph, but instead, she felt whole. Ethan hadn't just chosen her, he'd chosen justice, proving his love in a way she never thought possible. Together, they started small, a community center funded by Ethan's remaining assets, a place for people like Malik to dream again.